What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicholas Merton here at Data Dash, and today is September 11th of 2017. So as you all know, if you keep up with my channel, there has been one cryptocurrency that I have pushed off for way too long on this channel. I have gotten dozens of requests on my videos, my live streams, and in my Google forums where I ask you all what coin or token I should cover next to cover this specific past ICO. It is no other than ARK. Yes, the requests are needed no longer, folks. We're finally going to dive into ARK. I'll give you my opinion. We'll do a fundamental analysis on it and really talk about what ARK is all about. So this is going to be a really exciting time. I'm glad to finally be talking about it. But there's a reason I pushed it off. It's not because I'm negative on it. In fact, I'm relatively optimistic on the project. The reason why I wanted to spend some time off of it from covering it is because I really want to get my facts straight on it. ARK is not really a single focused cryptocurrency. It's kind of a jack of all trades, and it's really trying to be a sandbox for developers to utilize blockchain in a variety of ways, as well as communicate with a variety of other blockchains, really making ARK the leading platform for blockchain technology and to really help developers bring their applications and their ideas towards the blockchain. So again, it's a very interesting concept. It's a very ambitious one, a bold one at that, but at the same time, if they can do it properly, and as we'll see throughout here, it seems like they're doing a pretty decent job. If they can really achieve that, this is going to be big. So without further ado, let's jump right into the analysis. But first, as always, we got to look at the numbers. So we can see here on CoinMarketCap that ARK has built a very nice standing. Right now it's sitting at $307 million, and really it wasn't there not so long ago. Folks, look at this chart. I remember back in May when I first started looking at ARK, it was late May, around the $18 to $25 million range. There were so many naysayers on the project. It was a very select few people who really saw the groundbreaking potential in ARK. And to those longs out there who have held on this since the ICO, congratulations. You are getting paid. This has been an awesome run-up and the price action for ARK. And it is really starting to gain serious value. It's more than a mid-cap right now. It's very steady in the mid-cap range, and it's holding its current valuation pretty well. And not only that, it's going up towards higher prices. We can see that the volume is there to back it up as well. Almost over $1,000 in Bitcoin traded each day. And we can also see that the volume is $4.6 million. So we can definitely tell there's some serious money going into this. The circulating supply as well is pretty decent as well to the total supply. We'll learn that this is a coin that uses a delegated proof of stake system. And we'll try to explain what that is generally as we go along. But again, the circulating supply is fine, and the inflation rate is dropping over time. So it's not something to really worry about. With the amount of ambition coming into this, circulating supply really isn't the problem you have to worry about. So again, the numbers really check out, and the technical side looks great. And we'll look a little bit more into it later on in the video. But now let's go ahead and jump into the fundamentals of ARK. So as we go here to the ARK website, we can see right off the bat at the bottom it says a platform for consumer adoption. They are trying to get mass scale adoption for the ARK platform. This isn't some kind of niche market they're going after. They really want to build the optimal platform for users, developers, and businesses and organizations to really bring their ideas to the blockchain. So what does that look like, and what are they doing to really deliver on that? Well, I want to say, as always, I'm not the only one who can cover ARK. I really believe that the video they have on here, as well as the series as a whole, I can't think of his name right now, but they got a YouTuber to do this, and he did a fantastic job covering ARK as a whole. I think this video is a great resource if you don't get enough information at the end of my video and you want to watch his other series. He does a ton of coverage on ARK. Really great if you have the time to watch it. But again, check that out if you're still confused. As you can see, though, ARK is already a functioning project. They're working on it as we speak. And you can download desktop clients right now for the main net. So again, what is ARK really trying to do? Well, they're trying, like I said from the beginning, to build a sandbox platform to really get people onto blockchain, whether that be users, developers, or startups. So they have to have the scalable technology to really do that. And one of the big things they have is what's known as smart bridge technology. And in general speak, what SmartBridge does is it allows you to link with fellow blockchains in the cryptocurrency space and to be able to build applications that can communicate and send cryptocurrency over those different blockchains. So it's a very big game changer in that sense. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later on. So let's start looking at a few of these accolades here. We can see that ARK's core itself is extremely fast. The block time is at an average of 8 seconds. That is good. That is extremely nice for transaction times. So if I need to send ARK to someone, it can take 8 to 10 seconds, whatever it may be. I think in the video that he did, it was 10 seconds. But again, I mean, that's fantastic, folks. 10 seconds is something to marvel at in the crypto space. So definitely nice, fast transactions, and something that's scalable too, which is really good. We also have the fact that it's a delegated proof of stake system. So whereas traditional proof of stake allows you to just simply have voting rights due to your holdings in these certain cryptocurrencies. Delegated proof of stake allows individuals to not only get, through proof of stake, new ARK coins, but you actually have to use your ARK to vote on new decisions. So for example, in Bitcoin, for example, with SegWit and everything, there was a lot of hard decision making. It was hard to really decide, who's voting on what, which way do we go. Whereas in the ARK platform, that kind of delegate system where they vote on specific nodes to run the ARK platform, that gets voted on by people who spend their ARK. So you have one vote per ARK that you spend. So again, it's not a simple system where you can just hoard all of ARK's currency and be able to control all of the policies that get voted on. No, it has to do with your votes that you put up into the platform. And it really gets people engaged in wanting to build this platform for the long term and putting their money where their mouth is. So again, it's awesome. And you can get benefits also as well for voting for the proper nodes who run the network. But again, it's a really interesting concept, and I think it's a good approach for the long term in the sense of proof of stake. And we also have bridging. So this is the smart bridge technology we were talking about, crossing between different blockchains, being able to send transfers between those blockchains. I think it's very powerful, and we'll learn later on about how that plays into privacy. And then we also have sustainability. So the ARK Shield program was a part of the distribution of ARK during the ICO. And the ARK Shield program guarantees and allocates a certain amount of the ARK fund to go towards paying for expenses, whether it be legal troubles or trying to things that they might run into along the way. That's simple terms. It could be a variety of different things, dozens of different issues, but really to help build sustainability and trust in the platform and have that backbone behind it. So again, I think that that's really good to have. I think that a lot of ICOs have started to do that, and I think it's a trend that you'll continue to see because it is important to have that steady amount of funds to back up any changes that might come to the platform. So the ARK ecosystem, there's a lot of accolades here that really make the ARK ecosystem stand out. And the first I want to talk about as we go later on into it, the team. The ARK crew as a whole has a phenomenal number of individuals in the team, 27. You usually don't find teams that big, but along with that, that team has a good amount of developers in it, coming from a few different focuses and development. So I think this is perfect. I really think that they are devoted, and it seems like if you take a look at their team, they just seem like one of those general groups of people that aren't in it for the money. They really believe in what they're doing. So again, very optimistic in that sense. We can also see that they're working towards a physical card system. So they want to have a physical card that you can use as a means of transaction in the real world. I think that that's cool, but it's still very early on. This isn't one of the big things that's their main focus point right now, but it is something that they're hoping to do in the long term. So you can also see that they have the bridge blockchain. So this is really the core selling point where they can communicate with a multitude of different blockchains. So you can see they have Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Lisk. Just to let you all know as well, I almost forgot to mention, ARK is a fork mostly off of Lisk. So as we'll see later on, one of the lead developers on ARK is actually a former core developer at the Lisk project. So again, there's communication between multiple blockchains. If you do Bitcoin, Ethereum, you've already nailed most of it, but at the same time, to be able to do cross-blockchain communication between a multitude of different blockchains, which they're working on, is really a strong objective for the long term. And it seems like they've been successful so far. We can see that the underlying token is powerful as it is. The transaction time, security, and stability is really important. And the fact that it's delegated proof of stake, I think, is a really good selling point as well for long-term stability of changes and upgrades to the platform. We can also see hypermedia protocol. So basically, to explain this easily, they use what's known as IPFS. Now, if you don't know what IPFS is, this is something you need to dive into and start learning about. It is extremely powerful. And it's going to be a new way the web starts to run and send information, a lot of heavy information, videos, images, whatever it may be, content that we see. And it makes it a lot simpler so that on the blockchain, when you're sending all this information, it doesn't get cluttered. It isn't too heavy on the blockchain. And it's very simple and easy to send very vital information and content. So if people on the ARK platform wanted to develop social media platforms or content-based platforms like YouTube, whatever it may be, you could do that on the ARK blockchain, not only in the sense of flexibility for programmers through the languages that they offer, but also in the flexibility of sending information at a direct time. So I think it's very important that they have that, and I think it's very powerful for the long term. It makes people feel more flexible about using the ARK platform. We can also see they have an interplanetary scale blockchain database. So what the IPDB is it's going to be an area that stores a lot of vital information, and we'll learn later on how that guarantees a sense of privacy and a few other things. They have it listed out in the white paper. I have it brought up. We'll talk about it a little bit more later on, but this is a currently pending part of the ARK platform. We can also see there's constant improvements. Again, they've got an active team. If we go here to the GitHub here, we can see that the variety of different projects they're focusing on have different levels of activity, and you can see that they're at least getting contributions over the past year. I think this is fantastic. In some areas, it's not as active, but I think as they build up their team, as well as, you know, really kind of hone in on like the important factors of ARK and where it needs to be developed, you'll see that they've got continual development here. I think it's fantastic. And it's good to see that they have a lot of different focus points with a GitHub that shows that activity. GitHubs are very vital tools in analyzing a given team. So again, keep that on your radar, definitely if you're thinking about it in the long term. Optional privacy. This is going to be a feature implemented later on utilizing SmartBridge, the SmartBridge technology. So I would assume from what I got from the picture of it in the sense of optimal privacy, you're going to be able to send private transactions through the SmartBridge system. So through sending it through a variety of different blockchains, kind of confusing the transactions, but still keeping track of it through the ARK system, you can make transactions practically anonymous or private. So I think that that's pretty powerful as well if they can make it successfully feasible in the long term. We can also see it's self-sustaining. So not only do they have the tools built for developers to build applications on the ARK platform, but along with that, they already have some features built into the ARK platform that attracts people in general to use it, and really will build that beginning user base to really get developers interested in building their applications and updated features on the platform. So you can see here their aim is to bridge virtual with reality. That sounds really interesting and trippy, but it's interestingly enough, you know, going into that, you know, we can talk about the ARK crew now. As I was saying earlier, you know, it's a fork off of Lisk. So we can see here the core developer who is the head of development. He was a core developer at Lisk. So this is really cool. So now actually he's a full stack developer for the ARK team, but originally was a core developer for Lisk. And we all know Lisk, if you watch my channel, has been blowing up recently and is a platform that's trying to compete with the app stores out there, the App Store for Apple and the Google Play Store. So it's cool to see someone who is such a successful developer at such a a very sought after project such as Lisk coming onto the ARK platform and leading such strong development. We can also see Lars as well, who is the head of finance, is someone who has experience in business. I always tell you all, you know, it's very important to have people who actually have experience managing money and running projects. And I think in this case, Lars is going to be a good addition to the team. The reason I say that is because ARK as well did not raise an extensive amount of money for the development side of the ICO. They only raised about $1 million. So they really need to manage the money that they have, or in this case, you know, the Ethereum that they raised, and really distribute it properly towards whatever projects they need to do on extending the ARK platform. So definitely keep that in mind. But again, guys, the team just looks like a group of like hardcore kind of like innovation junkies. If you go through here, you'll just see all these individuals. They just seem like they're actually part of something they believe in. And it's not something like, you know, they're in it for the money or, you know, just trying to create another scamish ICO. And as we go down in here, I mean, not only did we go through a few developers, but there's a full stack developer, a UI designer. I mean, there's so many different backgrounds. They have a mobile developer. I think down here they have a Java C# dev. I mean, just so many different focus points and so many contributors where you can contact out to them. I love the, you know, the ease of contact, the ease of, you know, communication with the team and the engagement that they have. It just seems very, just friendly in a sense. It makes me feel like I'd be willing to use the platform. But again, this is a very ambitious project, and it should be standard that they have a team like this. So it's good to see it. It's at least good to say that we can be proud and confident in the team they have. And again, if you want to learn more about ARK, you can go ahead and check out some of the things we looked at. We looked at their GitHub. You can also check out their Slack, Reddit, YouTube, Twitter, Bitcoin Talk, and Facebook. There's a lot of information out there on ARK. So I want to go ahead and talk about the token distribution as well. As now we can see that there was 125 million tokens created from the start. And as we can see now, it's around 128 million in the total supply. As we have talked, there's a delegated proof of stake system, which will create new ARK over time. But as we see right here, 75% were distributed to participants who participated in the ICO. 15% went to the ARK founders team. So the 30 founders who worked in the project or contributed got 15% total. And then the ARK Shield, as we talked about, which is the 7%. And then there was also 2% for bounty campaigns to get the name out there for ARK. So Again, one thing I want to talk about though, that I really think is going to be a standout for this, outside of a lot of what we talked about, that really makes this a selling platform. I think the blockchain database, the interplanetary database for the blockchain is going to be big, because this is going to allow the steps toward privacy and private transactions, or at least help contribute in it. So again, really look into the white paper, read up on some of these things they're working on, and we're going to go ahead actually and dive into the roadmap. The roadmap gives you a much more visual picture and a much more simplified picture, as well as it shows how far along they've come in reaching their certain features. I think ARK right now has a lot of ambitions. It has a lot of ambitions right now. And you'll see that through this roadmap. If we go through here, they have technical documentation. They're still working on their technical documentation. They have so much ambitions for the project. You can see they have a wallet redesign they're in the works on, 55% complete. Mobile wallets, which are important as well for mass adoption. Smart Bridge partnerships, so they're working to really kind of utilize Smart Bridge for a variety of different partnerships and programs. Implementing different languages. I really want to show you all just how much they're implementing. They have Python, Java, .NET, R, C, Go, Advanced PowerShell, Rust, PHP, Laravel, TypeScript API, C++, Nucleus, Ruby, Swift iOS. I mean, man, I haven't seen such a long list of languages. And the fact that they've got 9 out of 14 of those already puts them ahead of most other platforms. I really can't even think of something that allows 9 right now. I mean, that's just fantastic. The amount of developer flexibility. That's where it really gets me energized. Like I said, they're trying to build the sandbox for developers to bring blockchain towards whatever they can imagine. And right now, they're building that platform. That's fantastic. Now we can see here, they have the first iteration of Smart Bridge use case. And as you can see, you can read through it a little bit more, learn about the tasks. And I think it's interesting. They have so many different focus points here, folks. Just reading through it just makes me optimistic. Now, of course, I don't have the time to cover everything here. They want to redesign their website, all kinds of things, do instructional videos on how to apply Smart Bridge technology towards your applications, whatever it may be. But man, this is just absolutely phenomenal. An active team that's really trying to make this real. And I gotta tell you, right now, we're going to go over to the technical side of things. We really looked at the fundamental side. We understand that ARK is trying to build a platform for everyone to adopt blockchain in the long term. I got to tell you, I haven't been holding ARK. Yeah, as I told you all, as much as I haven't been able to talk about it on my channel, give my opinion, and cover it, I really wanted to make sure I had my fundamental understanding of it. I haven't held ARK yet. But I can say, to those of you who did buy down here, congratulations. You really did pick a winner. And I think that ARK is going to continue to really grow. The question is, should we really buy up here? Well, I think this is how you should approach it, in my opinion. If you really believe in ARK for the long term, if you believe that this could be the platform for developers to get onto blockchain, ARK is extremely undervalued right now in that case. It's only sitting at 300 million. If you really believe in it like that, go ahead and do as you please. Invest in it if you like. I'm no financial advisor here. I can't tell you when to buy something or not. But I will say that, if I really believed in it, anywhere down here is cheap in my mind. On a technical standpoint, though, I will say it's a little bit overbought right now. As we can see, this has generally gone from around the kind of 100 Satoshi to 400,000 Satoshi, or sorry, no, 10,000 to 40,000 Satoshi range, and it's kind of broken out of that now. I think what you could see, in my opinion, is a pullback and support down towards the 40,000 Satoshi level. And I don't know how long that would take, but it could happen over the next few days, next few weeks. I think it needs a little bit of a cool down. But if we can get that, if you can get it to 40,000, I know I'm going to be participating in it. I know I'm going to be getting into that. Even around like maybe 50 or 60,000 Satoshis, it might be a good dip to really get in this. There's not much technical analysis we can do other than the fact that it's really going on a steady uptrend here. And ever since the ICO, the confidence has been going into this. We got a really big day of 10.7 thousand Bitcoin traded on ARK. Pretty incredible. But again, we'll have to wait and see. This looks very bullish, but at the same time, the chart is a little overextended. So I'm going to wait and be patient on it. But outside of that, I believe in the ambitions long-term for ARK. I think that they've got a lot of people on their team really making this a reality. They've got a lot of objectives as well. They're active. They're actually ambitious about this. And I can't wait to see where the ARK project goes. The real question is though, what do you all think about this? I'd love to hear what you all think down in the comments below. Get a discussion going, really start going back and forth, talking about the benefits, the long-term hurdles that, you know, ARK is going to have to come over, maybe the competition that ARK's up against. But again, everyone, I think that ARK could be a winner here. I think it's interesting. I'm glad I finally get to cover it in this channel. But if you've got a coin or token you want me to cover, please leave it down in the comments below, and I'll try to get to it as soon as possible. That being said, everyone, I'm so glad you could join me for this video, but I'll see you all in the next one. Stay tuned.